Santa's Gift. Prologue. Monique. Mom, this backpack is ruined. Can I please get a new one? Whined May, my 3-year-old, her big brown eyes pleading for attention. I want a new one too, put in her twin brother Mason, holding up his torn backpack as evidence. Mom, don't give in to them. They're just jealous because you got me a bag. May is being petty right now, argued their older brother Landon. I tuned out their squabbling, desperately trying to focus on stirring the flour in the bowl as if my life depended on it. I felt like drowning in a sea of demands and broken things. Behind me, the gentle splash of water dripped down the wall, a constant reminder of the plumbing issues that needed fixing. The lights overhead flicker intermittently. Nothing in our home was working as it should. Mom, can you hear me? May shouted, her tiny voice cutting through the room. I took a deep breath, ignoring the clamor around me, determined to salvage some semblance of order. The world inside my kitchen felt like a storm, and I was trying my best to survive it, just until they sleep. I closed my eyes, exhaling a breath heavy with tension. I'd hold it in until after they've had dinner and gone to bed. And when they were asleep, I would crawl out and scream the house down. I can do this. My hands moved mechanically while my mind wrestled with the mess that surrounded me. As the aroma of the simmering soup filled the kitchen, I let go of my struggles and focused on just one thing: dinner. The kids persisted in their requests for new backpacks, their voices blending into a jar of demands. Landon's insistence on their jealousy and pettiness rang in my ears. I needed a miracle, some helping hand, something beyond the ordinary. I couldn't afford to let their squabbles consume me. Not now. Not today. Finally, with the soup simmering on the stove, I turned off the burner and faced the trio of expectant faces. All right, let's talk about these backpacks, I said, forcing a smile that felt more like a mask. Landon rolled his eyes. May continued to insist that she was always neglected as the only female. The boys ganged up on her. Where did the conspiracy theory come from? Mason clutched the torn backpack as if it were a prized possession. We negotiated, compromised, and they cut a deal. Then I got from them all promises of better behavior. So, if we got 2 more, knockoffs mostly, we'll be good? All 3 heads bounced up and down. Now, can we expect good behavior in return? I questioned, scrutinizing each child with a firm gaze. Yes, Mommy, came their collective response. Afterward, we settled for dinner. As I guided my children through the evening routine, I clung to the hope that bedtime would bring a moment of peace. The promise of a silent house fueled my determination to endure until then. Dinner passed in a whirlwind of requests, gossip, and laughter. Each second, it brought me closer to the coveted silence that would follow. Finally, after tucking them into bed and assuring them that dreams awaited in the night, I lay beside them. It was supposed to be a quick nap, but exhaustion drew me into a deep sleep, until the shrill sound of the clock striking midnight told through the silence, cutting through the darkness. The old pendulum clock kept ringing until I dragged myself out of bed. I stumbled into the kitchen, the nightlight casting elongated shadows that danced along the worn-out linoleum floor. I slid the drawer open, reaching inside to retrieve the stack of bills I had hastily stashed there earlier. Utility notices, monthly rent, medical bills, credit card companies, and a collection of smaller bills form a bulk of financial obligations to be fulfilled. Gasping for air as if the atmosphere conspired against me, I clutched the edge of the kitchen counter, my knuckles turning white. Realizing the insurmountable hurdles ahead collided with the fragments of my shattered dreams. 3 small faces, blissfully unaware, slept upstairs. I crumpled to the cold linoleum floors, offering no comfort. My chest numbed with pain, a relentless pressure pushing me to the brink. The stained walls of the kitchen closed in on me like a suffocating embrace. Desperation clawed at my throat, and my vision blurred as tears streamed down my face, an unchecked torrent carving paths through the mask of strength I wore for my children. "Come on, Monique," I whispered to the empty room, my voice a fragile plea against the unforgiving night. "You've faced worse. You can do this." As it neared another hour, the ding-dong of the clock seemed to mock my feeble attempts at reassurance. I was constantly in a continuous march against time. With each ticking second, I faced the harsh truth. My dreams lay shattered, buried beneath the weight of responsibility and loss. When does it end? As the minutes stretched into eternity, my sobs subsided into silent tremors. I sat there, surrounded by the remnants of a life I hadn't chosen. Like uninvited guests, the bills sprawled across the floor with me, demanding attention. The refrigerator jerked abruptly, the lights flickering uncertainty before plunging the room into total darkness. Panic seized me. Oh God, no. In a frantic scramble, I searched for the torchlight, my trembling hands finding it and hastily flipping the switch to break the oppressive darkness. Slowly, with the cautious movements of someone treading on fragile ground, I reached for the bills. Each paper held the weight of 1,000 worries against my hand. With trembling hands, I organized them, stacking the bills into a pile. It became more apparent as I flipped through them, calculating the numbers etched in unforgiving ink. The panic began to recede, replaced by a flicker of resolve. It was time to pick up the pieces of my life. Not just for me, but for the little hearts that counted on me to be their anchor in the storm. Morning would come, as it always did, and a new chapter in my life would unfold. This kitchen that had witnessed both breakdowns would witness my breakthroughs again. In the darkness, surrounded by the remnants of a breakdown, I made a silent promise to myself and the sleeping souls above. For all our sakes, I will get it right again. And as I carefully tucked away the organized bills, a glimmer of hope pierced through. Taking the torch, I moved out of the kitchen. The light reflection landed on an item in the corridor. The weathered keys of my vintage typewriter were a relic of a time when words flowed effortlessly from my fingertips. There was an era when I was one of the best writers. The proof lay in a local bestseller's pages that graced most Glendale shelves. It was the royalties from that book that sustained us. It was also what brought on the twins. They were conceived on the celebration of my award night. I knew then what I had to do. Santa's gift. Prologue.